Good Sunday afternoon, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. We are back, SFC Defined, with our live version of Let's Talk About It. So we're talking about it today. We're talking about suggestions. That's what we started. We are only doing this for a couple of months. Can you believe that it is already July? Man, this year is flying by, and I hope you're maximizing it and taking and making the best of it. So let's talk, because I'm not going to keep you long today. Thank you guys for joining me. I think I've learned that it's best to give 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes max on what we're talking about. It seems like that's something that you guys are enjoying, and I appreciate you so much. So let's talk. We're talking about suggestions and the power that suggestions have in our lives, and how last week we mentioned that everything around us is merely a suggestion. When you hear the things on the news, you think about a podcast, even the stuff that I'm saying to you is merely a suggestion. And suggestions don't become realities until you start believing it. And that could be a positive thing or a negative thing. I don't think we realize the power that is associated with something that people say to us. I don't think that you realize what that means and how much of our lives are determined or dictated by the things that we suggest. So it's crazy about how we can think that we are in control of our lives, and we really think that we are. Most of us really think that we are in control of our lives. But the reality of it is most of our lives have been dictated by the power of suggestion. Somebody can say to you that, man, today, be careful, because you're going to have, I feel it, like you're going to have a really hard day today. And if you buy into it, guess what kind of day you're going to have? You're going to have a really, really hard day. It's not because there is no good around you. It's not because you can't have a great day. It's literally because you believed what they said. Their suggestions to you had power over you, and therefore you believed it. So with that being said, last week, remember, we talked about thing called heterosuggestion, and those are suggestions that come from other people. People, whether or not it's an empowering suggestion or a depowering suggestion. Again, it doesn't become your reality until you buy into it and start believing it. Once it sort of kind of take root in your mind, then once you believe it, after it takes root and you start believing it, then it not only was their truth, it becomes your truth. And that's the sad part about it is I don't think any one of us should allow what somebody think or feel or say about us to become our truth unless it's something empowering and it's something really good. Good afternoon, Catherine. Thanks for joining me. But yeah, I really think that we don't realize that just by hearing things like, how many times have we gone to the gas station because we feel like the sky is falling and because people on the news say that the economy is getting ready to shift, the gas prices are going to get extremely high, and you better get it now, as if one tank of gas is going to last you for the rest of your life. It's a suggestion, and so that's how they manipulate us, and I'm talking about the media. That's how they do. That's associated with these huge mega corporations. This is how they manipulate us into making them more wealthy. And it's literally just the power of suggestion. So that's when suggestions come from the outside of you. That's called heterosuggestion. Today, I want to take a couple of minutes and talk about autosuggestion, which I believe is even more detrimental to the trajectory of our lives than the heterosuggestions. Autosuggestions are those suggestions that you have in yourself. And I'm talking about your mind. When you sit and you say, oh, I don't believe I can do that, or I don't think I'll ever have that, I don't think I'll ever achieve that, I don't think I'm good enough, I don't think I'm pretty enough, I don't think I'm tall enough or short enough, or whatever the case may be. All of those are auto-suggestions, and our mind by default never ever shuts up with suggestions. The key is to determine what your mind is telling you. You need to determine whether or not it is going to work for you or against you. So I think the key to it, and key to auto-suggestions and the power that they have over your life, is to be very conscientious about your thoughts. So when you hear your mind saying, you should wait and do that tomorrow, tomorrow will be better, you'll feel like it tomorrow, that's merely a suggestion. How to overcome an auto-suggestion is you say, no, regardless of how I feel, I'm going to do it today. Even if it's just for a minute or two, I'm going to put forth the effort and make sure that I'm not falling into that suggestion. When you hear your mind say, I wouldn't apply for that position because you're not qualified, then, either you can buy into it and you can just, fall back and say, you're right, I'm not qualified, so I won't do it. Or you can tap into that super conscious mind that you have and say, what, even if I'm not qualified, it won't hurt to apply for it. So those are the auto suggestions, and our mind is full of auto suggestions. They go all day long, every waking minute. Your mind is telling you something, it's suggesting something to you. So my question is, what is your mind telling you? What is your mind suggesting to you? What is it suggesting to you? Is it suggesting that today is not the right day for you to make that phone call? Everybody's talking about you. People are lying on you. Nobody likes you. You'll never find love. You'll never be a gym. It's all a suggestion. That is all a suggestion. You get to determine whether or not you buy into that. You get to determine whether or not you're going to believe it. And once you believe it, it becomes your truth. And the moment that it becomes your truth, that's the kind of life that you're going to have. So do you see how the power of suggestion, whether it's coming from hetero or auto suggestion, this is what determines whether or not we're having a wonderful life or a bad, so to speak. So you're creating this. You are doing this to yourself. It's not anybody else. It's not the devil. It's not evil. It's not your cousin or your coworker. It's you. You are buying into it. So how do I get over this? How do I get over buying into negative suggestions, whether they are hetero or auto? Replace it with something positive. When you have a negative thought about your ability, capability, whether or not you're worthy or whether or not you're beautiful enough or whatever the case may be, it's just simple for you to replace that thought, that one suggestion, with something else that's more positive. Yeah, I am beautiful enough. I am good enough. I am worthy. I can do this, and that's what I believe that we need to learn how to do, is be conscious in what we think, especially about ourselves. It is said that we are our own worst enemy. And I never really thought how true that was until I started doing research on suggestions and how they are so powerful, and how economists and how these mega corporations, how big pharma, how all of these people have perfected the craft of manipulation through suggestion. So much so that they've taught us over the years, they've taught us how to manipulate ourselves to doing negative, not liking us, not thinking we're pretty enough. So, in the magazine, they put all of these beautiful models, 36, 24, 36, they give all the buff. So they suggest inadvertently that you should look like this. And I've got this one pill that'll help you look like this. That is a suggestion. Now, whether or not you buy into it, that's totally up to you, because once it becomes your belief, then the next step is it becoming your truth. And you'll tell yourself, I don't have the abs that this guy had, or don't have the curves that this lady had. So I'm not good enough. I must not be good enough. And I'll never be good enough because I can't even see myself looking like that. As a result, you start creating this persona, a mindset, and one suggestion leads to another. If I'm not pretty enough, I guess I'll never have the relationship. If I'm not skinny enough, I guess I'll never be able to do this. I guess I'll never be able to do that. So again, the power of suggestion that hovers over our lives day in and day out, it helps manipulate the kind of life that you're going to live. So my suggestion to you, and this is merely a suggestion, is that you be conscious of what you are thinking. Be conscious of how you are, whether it's a hetero suggestion coming from the outside or an auto suggestion with what you're telling yourself. Be mindful of it. You get to choose whether or not it's going to have power over you. Everything is merely a suggestion. Whether or not it becomes your truth is totally up to you. All right? That's enough for today. I really appreciate you guys joining me. Don't forget to like and share. Remember, if this is something that empowers and strengthens you emotionally, mentally, spiritually, then it will probably strengthen somebody that you love. Okay, so pass it on, share with them, and let them realize that nothing is more powerful than a suggestion. Okay, nothing is more powerful than a suggestion, and I want you guys to make the best life that you can possibly have. Be the best version of you that you can be. Talk to you guys again next week.